Hello.
Hi.
No, manly voice.
Hi. Or girl.
This is episode number 4.
Yeah. Episode number 4 up in this bitch. Twin Chat, episode 4. Welcome.
Welcome. This is episode number 4, if we haven't said that already. Number 4.
I think we said episode 4 morning.
Okay.
This is episode 4. Right
No, we're on 3.5.
We're on episode 4 and 3/4. I'm excited. We made it to episode 4. We did the intro episode. We did that weird second episode where I just talked about shit. We did our twin trivia episode, and now we're doing episode number 4.
When are we going to stop keeping track?
I don't know. I don't think we ever will. I think like it's cool that we keep track. Like I don't know.
But people that do episodes for like a long time don't keep track of how many episodes they...
Yeah, they do.
They're not like, welcome to episode 235. Like, it's just...
Well, we'll set a precedent for all podcasts. We will keep track of every single episode.
All right, so episode 69, we'll do something fun.
Yeah, episode 100. Honestly, episode 10, I want to do something fun. But I think if we're being honest with ourselves, is like, I don't think we're going to make it past episode 5.
Way to have faith. Okay.
Do you want to give the people an introduction on what we're going to be doing?
I have a client, now a really good friend, shout out Melissa. She came up with a few questions for us. She's a professional psychologist. And so I asked her, like, if you can sit down with a pair of twins and ask them any unhinged questions that you want, what would they be? And so she did. And we have those questions to ask each other now.
And ask each other them we will do. All right, we got a lot to cover in this episode, so let's get this party started. It's gonna be a good one. Buckle in, sit down, and shut the fuck up because you're about to get your your
Don't finish that sentence.
All right, cue the intro. So we got 8 questions.
We got 7 questions.
Yeah, a lot of these questions were like really thought-provoking and deep. Like
They were hard.
Yeah, they were really hard.
It's really hard. Yeah, it was hard not to come up with answers without insulting you or...
Yeah. I had to go dig deep into the depths of our childhood. 7 questions from a professional psychologist. Let's get this party started.
Question number 1. How does being a twin... I already messed up. Question 1. How has being a twin shaped your individual sense of identity? And have there been times when you felt pressure to be more alike or distinct from each other?
As twins, we do lose a sense of our individuality. And growing up, you were definitely very selfish. I felt like I couldn't get anything from you.
Sharing friends is hard. Sharing possessions is hard. Just because growing up, like we shared everything. We just shared a room, shared a bathroom with our other sisters too. So anything that I can get to myself growing up, I needed it. So I feel like in adulthood, I've just become a little bit more selfish when it comes to you a little bit. I don't know.
That was just like your MO throughout our family. Like all of us siblings had our own like deep flaws, and yours was...
Well, it was also because
selfishness.
You can say it's selfish, but like you also had a tendency to overreach. We had boundaries, and you overstepped those boundaries quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's just because I felt like we were so close. Like I feel like I could just take stuff from you, and there would be no consequences.
Well, exactly. That's where rubber meets the road. It's just you thought it was okay, and I thought no, it's mine, and you have to.
Yeah, but like there were so many examples of like things that like I should have been able to take from you without like you even questioning it. Like if
I get that, and I understand, and I know any other person, absolutely, but you've admitted it. Like you just have a tendency to not only overstep, but when you overstep, you also break things or just like you.
It's true. I do have a tendency to break things that has been talked about before on this podcast. But let me give the people an example. Like there are so many times throughout our childhood that I wanted to like wear his shirt out, or when we were even younger, just borrow a toy from a drawer. I would like you would just ruin my vibe. Like I'd be playing with your toys, and playing with my action figures, and then you would just like steal them away, and like I could never wear your shirts. I could never wear any of your clothes. Even like sometimes in middle school, we kind of grown out of this, but like if sometimes in the mornings when you'd go off with your friends, I would kind of not have as many friends on a particular day. Like maybe they were absent or, you know, busy doing something else. And so I would try to tag along with you just so I wouldn't be stuck walking around the halls alone. And you would just like whisper in my ear, just leave, just go.
Did I really do that?
A few times, yeah. Like you just didn't want me around.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm literally not making, yeah. That made me feel awful.
No? Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. If any other person asked me to share clothing, share any, like, I probably would say yes. Like, it's just you for whatever, it's just you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do acknowledge, like, I do have a tendency to, like, be careless with things. And I feel like as I've gotten older, I've grown out of that.
Yeah.
So, like, I think, and also you've gotten better with it. You're nowhere near as selfish as you were. It was hard growing up because you would just never let me take anything. And on the flip coin of it, I always felt like I was over generous. Like I always let you have everything of mine without rhyme or reason. Like I would just give shit away.
Okay, well here's the magic question. Have I given you any reason to not share it with me?
No, you've always been lovely to share with. And I know I haven't been, but that's part of the love is knowing that you're giving your shit away and it might get ruined. Well, but you still don't care nonetheless.
No, I get it. But I still love you, and we are both growing out of these flaws, so.
Yeah, I think we've both grown out of them. I definitely have respected your boundaries more, and you've respected mine, and like I'm nowhere near, like I'm much more careful and considerate of other people's belongings. I can't remember the last time that I broke something. Or
maybe this set.
Oh, that was an accident. that could happen to anyone.
We were setting up the set. No, this is a permanent set. I lied. Totally. Yeah, this is not, we don't take it down after every episode.
We have a professional office in which this set lives. We pay a lot of money because we have a lot of money to burn on rent for a whole other studio.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. This isn't taken down and put back up after every single episode. No, definitely not. And maybe not during one of those times you may or may not have broken it.
Yeah. Before we had this end table, if you go back to our first episode, we had like an asymmetrical table. And the mics, we had to balance the mics perfectly on the table, and if you didn't, they would topple. And during while we were filming, I accidentally pushed on the mic too hard, and it just all fell. And it was an accident. I didn't mean it.
We got off track a little bit. Now this is a two-parter, right? So the second part of this was: have there been times when you felt pressure to be more alike or distinct from each other? I guess I'll kick off. Yeah. I mean, also piggybacking off what we already said. I feel like we definitely try and be more distinct from each other now. What ways do we try to be alike?
I'm going to play devil's advocate and say the opposite because I think I've tried to be more alike, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not like I go out of my way to be distinct from you. Like here's a decent example, I guess. So when we go out, sometimes we'll accidentally wear the same color or same shirts because we have the same style, and I make him change or I'll change just because I don't want to look alike.
It's so annoying. It's so fucking annoying.
Well, it's annoying when we go out. People always ask us twin questions, so I
know why, but like I don't care enough to the point like where I want to change. Like I'm wearing what I'm wearing and I like what I'm wearing. I'm not going to change just because people think we look alike. They're going to say that stuff no matter what.
No, I know. But like just on a bigger, that was a microcosm. Just on a bigger scale, I don't know. I do feel like I try to sometimes separate myself from you. You have a different answer?
Yeah. I think I don't try to be more alike to you. I just think the way we were raised and everything, we just have been very competitive with each other, and that has caused us to go on the same path. Yeah. We've always played the same sports. We have always had the same friends. We have always worn the same clothes, but
that's also not on purpose. If you grow up together, I feel like we've just tended to have the same likes and dislikes, and I also feel like we kind of have the same goals. Like we both want a wife, we both want kids,
that goal will be more soon recognized for you than me.
Yeah, that's a different discussion.
I don't think I would say I'm consciously trying to be more alike than you. I think it's just been a subconscious thing. Like it's never oh shit, he looks good in those jeans.
I gotta get me those jeans.
I gotta get me that.
Look at that butt. No. Yeah. All right. Question number 2. I feel like those are pretty good answers. Question number 2. What, if any,
Dose.
unwritten rules or rituals?
Sorry. Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you go do.
There was an exorcism in this room.
I've been having really bad back pains lately. I'm an old man. I have chronic back pain, and I was playing in the flag football game. I'm in a flag football league, and I was playing in a game on Saturday. And
Nobody cares.
I want the people to know.
Just suffer in silence.
No, I'm gonna suffer publicly.
All right.
And I hurt my back. So if I have weird spasms or cries of pain throughout the episode, that's why. All right, question number 2. What, if any, unwritten rules or rituals exist between the two of you that outsiders might not understand? How did these shape your day-to-day interactions?
It's a hard question. When we shared a room, so from infancy up until high school.
Yeah, we lived in the same room, shared the same room until we were in 9th grade.
So in that span, for whatever reason, no matter what occurred during the day, good, bad, worst fight in the world, whatever happened, we would always lie in bed, separate beds. We could be arguing seconds before shut eye, but for whatever reason, we just both always said good night.
Yeah.
So we could just be like, fuck you, asshole. Good night.
You suck. Good night.
We just both knew. We didn't want to be angry at each other before bed. So we would always just put it aside and be like, good night.
We were an old married couple before it was cool.
Yeah, I don't think anybody even taught us that. It just felt natural. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't like going to bed upset.
But not even like just like good night, but like just like we had conversations every night before we went to bed about like hour long conversations about how our day was, how our week was.
Yeah.
We would talk about like gossip between, stuff going on in the family, what's going on with our siblings, mom and dad. If one of us had, got in trouble that day and were, punished severely or, just punished at all, we would talk about that, whether, it was justified, what we could do about it. Maybe if we disagreed with the punishment, how we were gonna, scoot around mom and dad. Just things like that, just typical, I feel like sibling things, just plotting, talking about girls.
This question, yeah, I'm sure some twins have like rituals or something that outsiders wouldn't understand. But at the same time, I feel like that's also a best friend thing or just a sibling thing. Like you, not necessarily just twins. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you have something in mind?
No, I mean, I know like as we've gotten older, we like fist bump. Like if we're taking pictures, sometimes we'll just go like that in a picture. Yeah. Yeah. But nothing, no like ritual like in particular. It's not like we like, have like a handshake or anything like that. We should get a handshake.
Just rub the big toes together. I don't know.
That's a little zesty.
Yeah. You didn't have anything in mind, right?
No, I think you hit that one on the head.
Yeah, so no real rituals. I think it's very normal.
Sorry to disappoint.
All right, question number 3.
Moving on.
In what ways do you think your family upbringing shaped each of your coping styles when dealing with stress or challenges of the day? Do you feel these approaches are similar or different from each other?
That's a good question. We were both raised the same, so a lot of our coping styles and ways we deal with stress are like pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Growing up, our parents always heavily stressed health and fitness. So nowadays, if we're ever stressed, I know we just go to the gym together. We just talk stuff out at the gym, and it's a good way for us just to bond. But growing up, our parents, I don't know if I could share this. I'm just gonna share it.
Nah, yeah, it's whatever.
Growing up, our parents made us run laps around the neighborhood. They made us do push-ups and sit-ups as punishment. Instead of grounding us like a normal parent would, they would have us owe them laps. So if we did something bad, they would be like, that's 5 laps. And then we didn't have to do the laps right there and then. It would just be in the backlog of what we owe them. We would just have to get it done within a reasonable amount of time.
So we had debt of laps.
Yeah, we were in debt. I remember one year we were so much in debt that the big like Christmas present was to be alleviated of all of our lapse and a fresh slate. I think at one point, both of us,
like thousands of
it was
laps.
thousands. Yeah, we were bad kids.
Yeah.
I remember there were times we were caught trying to cut the laps, cut corners and, not do them. And oh my gosh, that made everything so much worse. Whoo, mom and dad had a field day with that. But whenever we tell our friends or like potential like girlfriends or like,
they don't understand. Some people thought it was just straight up child abuse.
Yeah.
Like, they don't understand.
Like, it's not child abuse. Like, it's teaching your children health and fitness and discipline at a young age.
Yeah, I think.
Like what is your child going to benefit from being grounded and stuck in a house all day with their phone gone?
Yeah, exactly. If you think about it, if your child does a bad thing, would you rather that punish them by having them sit in a room with their thumb up their butt, or have them be outside and
bettering themselves?
Yeah, exactly. Bettering themselves. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
It's just a more productive punishment. And I think we've grown up better for it because of all the push-ups and sit-ups our dad made us do and all the laps. We just grew up healthier because of it.
Yeah.
Like, I sustain less injuries. Like, our bodies are just more resilient.
Yeah, very true. I don't know. We also got off track a little bit too. We didn't really answer the question.
Oh, yeah. So it's mostly just through health and fitness, I think.
Yeah. And it's also, we handle stress also by talking to each other. Like, I know for me, if I'm stressed about a situation or a person or something that's coming up, you're the first person I want to talk to about it.
Yeah.
Get your opinion. I know there's not a single person on earth that I trust going to more than you. Yeah. Even like mom or dad. Like, you're always the first person I talk to.
Yeah, vice versa. Like, there's a lot of things that you know about me that mom and dad don't.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounded really sinister. I'm not hiding anything, mom and dad, like that much. There's just little things. But like, even my most recent, me and my girlfriend broke up a couple months ago. More than a couple months ago. It was more.
No, it's like 4 months ago now.
It's like 4 months now. During the breakup, I remember she went to the bathroom and I texted you. We're breaking up. I'll be over in 10 minutes.
During the breakup, we're breaking up.
Yeah. And then within 10 minutes, I was there. Just
literal minutes after a heartbreaking breakup.
Yeah.
You were in my house talking about it.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where it hasn't even like registered yet.
I was in a daze for sure.
Yeah, that was a rough night for all of us. I think it was just like he came. I don't think you actually like knew what you were doing. Almost, you were just.
I was on autopilot.
Yeah.
I was still processing.
Yeah, like I remember asking you questions and you just straight up like just didn't answer me sometimes.
I remember Selena was trying to get me like to look at her Sims. She was playing Sims and I was not having it. I was like, oh yeah, what's he doing?
Yeah, sometimes your coping mechanism is just go to your twin, and that's what you did. I don't know. You came, but you didn't talk.
I came, but I didn't. That's what she said.
Ew. You came over, but you didn't talk.
Yeah. It was a rough night, but I don't know. I feel like I've come a long way.
You have. I think that deserves a hearty fist bump.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The power of twinship.
Twinhood. All right, moving on. Number 4.
Numero cuatro, just like this episode. All right, question number 4. Growing up in the same family environment, did you find that you naturally gravitated towards different roles within the family? If so, what do you think influenced that? Personality, family expectations, or maybe something else? That's a good question. I think I'm actually going to get a little deep here for a moment.
Oh God, okay.
The roles in our family obviously have like evolved over time, especially for me. When I was younger, I feel like I was much lower on the totem pole. I think mom and dad thought much less of me.
I don't think they thought less of you. I just think they trusted you a little bit less than the rest of us.
Yeah. Growing up, I grew up with ADHD, and along with that came with a information processing disorder. So I never really was able to like listen very well. And so whenever mom and dad came to me with a problem or favor, I could never follow through, or they would have to repeat themselves multiple times, or even if I heard them, I wouldn't do it correctly because there was maybe a specific thing that I didn't get quite right. So this led to a lot of resentment, I think, on their end, and a lot of distrust.
Yeah.
So they would always naturally gravitate towards you.
Even today, they kind of started something with that. We would always ask Royce, repeat what I just said, just to make sure that he actually understood what we were saying. And sometimes he just couldn't.
Yeah.
It just became a thing.
Just went through one ear and out the other. I struggled a lot with it growing up. And I remember vividly, we had a chore chart on the fridge, and I have obviously my twin brother, and I have 2 sisters, a younger sister and an older sister.
Yeah.
And they were all given much more privileged, I guess, chores than I did. They, you know, were given like the dishwasher, you know, cleaning the counters, mopping the floor, whereas I was only given one responsibility: taking out the trash and bringing the pail to the curb every whatever day it was, Wednesday and Friday.
Okay, that sounds bad, but like,
it's all I was capable of doing at the time.
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Am I wrong?
I don't remember the exact like nuances of it, but you were trusted with a lot more than trash duty. I mean, like,
yeah, but I mean, to me back then,
we're talking
I still feel that though. Like even now, I'm running away from that. I always am running away from the boy who was only given the responsibility of taking out the trash.
I mean, I get it, but also on like the flip side of it, like from my perspective, because you were not trusted a lot by our parents, they threw a lot more on me.
Yeah.
And I think that made me resent you a little bit. Just like a microcosm of that. You didn't get your license till like a little bit later than I did. So I remember driving you around all the time, and I freaking hated that just because mom and dad didn't trust you to drive.
Yeah. Mom and dad didn't trust me to get my license until I was 17, 18 years old. I didn't, for no particular reason, dad just didn't think I was ready for the road. He probably understood that since I had ADHD, my mind was just super scattered and I couldn't focus on driving. And honestly, looking back, like I respect the decision. Maybe he's right. Better safe than sorry. Like if I knew if I had a child and I wasn't 1,000% sure, like if there was a slimmer of doubt, I wouldn't want him on the road. And that's what dad did for me. I resented him for it because I didn't have my freedom, my true freedom, until much later.
Yeah, I mean, I was stuck driving you around.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of resentment there. And it did take you a little bit longer to be comfortable behind the wheel.
Oh, absolutely. It was definitely a learning curve. But now I'm the only one in the family with a clean driving record. No tickets, no accidents. No one else in the entire family can say that.
I've never gotten a ticket. I haven't gotten a ticket.
Yeah, but you've been in multiple accidents.
Legally, that weren't my fault though. One was a hit and run, and the other one, after the accident, she straight up took all fault.
Yeah.
She took up all the responsibility.
Yeah, none of the accidents were your fault. I'm not saying that, but it's definitely cleaner, not as clean as my record. I'm scrub-a-dub-dub, buddy.
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm scrub-a-dub-dub.
It's not a flex. It's because all cars avoid you on the road.
But yeah, just to summarize, we definitely took on different roles growing up. You were definitely much more of the go-to, and I definitely was not. I was much more of the troublemaker of the house.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that.
I feel like as we've gotten older, I've obviously grown out of everything. I've learned how to cope with my ADHD and listening and, you know, my information processing, and I've gotten much, much better.
I sometimes find myself asking you, did you hear what I just said? Can you repeat what I...
Obviously, I stumble, but, like, for the most part, like, I'm normal now. I haven't, you know, taken any ADHD medication for, like, 6 years now, and I've learned how to live my life, and I'm doing...
Yeah, you definitely outgrown it.
Yeah, and
it's something our mom had too. She also outgrew hers. Our sister also had ADHD a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I've grown. We both grown.
All right. Question number 5. Have either of you noticed that you tend to play certain roles in your romantic relationships that mirror or differ from the roles you had with each other growing up? It's a very awkward question.
Well, personally, I've always treated you like shit, so I like to treat my women the same way.
That's funny.
No, I'm obviously just joking. But I don't think... I mean, I trust you. I always, like... know when you're talking to me, you're telling the truth. Trust is never an issue in any relationship that I'm in. I'm not the jealous type. When she's saying something, I usually take it at face value, and I know she's telling the truth until she obviously gives me a reason to think otherwise. But it's the same thing with you growing up. Like, I don't think we've ever like really like lied to each other. I don't think like we've ever hidden anything.
There was no way for us to lie to each other. Like, we're just with each other all the time. It's just not possible.
Like I've always trusted you, and it was easy for me, and so I trust people very easily.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. It's a tough question. So like growing up, you cared less about keeping a clean space than I did. You're not great about cleaning up after yourself.
Nope.
So because we shared spaces, room, bathroom, whatever, what have you. In college, we had an apartment together. Because you didn't care about cleaning up after yourself, I was the one that picked up your slack and always cleaned up after both of us. In my relationship with Selena, I feel like, not even that she's like a mess. She's not. She's very, very clean, like very normal. I just always beat her to the punch to clean something. I do the dishes first. I just always find something to do to clean. And not that it's caused friction between me and her. It's just, I can't help it. That's just how I've operated just growing up with you. Just, there's always a mess and I just always clean it up. So I feel like that's just how it's been with me and Selena.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Growing up, I always thought your tidiness was over the top and like OCD, but looking back, it was just basic common sense.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I feel like I say this all the time on this podcast, but I've grown, and truly I have. Like now, like I always keep my car pristinely clean. Same with my apartment. Like I'm a normal person now. I promise.
Because that's the thing. Because I always clean up after you. I feel like now, because you don't have me to clean up after you, you now clean up after yourself.
Yeah, that's fair. I think if we were to live together now,
if we live together now, you would revert 100%. Yes.
When we lived together like 2 years ago, back at Solstice.
Yeah, I was still cleaning up.
Oh,
after you. Yeah.
Maybe it's like just Revertigo then. Maybe I would. Sorry.
Admittedly, probably not as much as in the past, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's also probably a fault of mine too. Maybe I'm just overly clean.
I'm sure if you went to Selena and was like, "Hey, is this like, am I over the top? Is this something I can work on?" She'd be like, "Yes." Also, just really quick, I know you have some other stuff you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Mentioned it earlier. We prioritized health and fitness a lot growing up.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
And so I look for that in any partner that I have. Like, I want to be able to go to the gym with her. I want to be able to do the physical activities that I enjoy doing. That sounded sexual. I did not mean that to be sexual. I meant like sports.
Yeah.
Like we both play golf. We both play tennis. We both play football. We both wrestled in high school.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't expect her to wrestle, but just going out on the tennis courts or playing pickleball with me, or going out on the course and shooting 18.
Any sort of activity. Like if you're a homebody, like that's fine. It's just like
you need to be active on some level. You can't just
step outside a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to add was, it's not even like a twin thing. Just because we grew up with two sisters, we kind of knew how to treat girls and women from a very early age. I'm not trying to like toot my own horn or anything. It's just, I feel like that's not a skill that you just know. It's something you learn. Like it's not.
Exactly. Like mom and dad drilled it into our heads. Like the lady always gets priority first. Like you hold the door open for her. If there's an open seat, you give it to her. Just basic gentlemanly, chivalrous things.
I mean, again, that those were like low bar things. I just mean on a day-to-day basis on how to treat girls and women.
How to cherish them.
Yes. Because we had two sisters, I think getting into a relationship was a little bit easier.
Yeah, for sure. And just from a confidence standpoint, like I feel like we've have had our sisters every day growing up, so just talking to women, I feel like in general is a bit easier.
Yeah. And it also doesn't hurt that we can talk to either of them about relationship advice.
Yeah. Also,
or fashion or like anything. Just, I guess having sisters helps.
Yeah. Also, it's like, it's not really part of the question, but like, also like, I feel like we've just, at least for me, I kind of have more feminine taste than the average dude. Like I know my music tastes and all that stuff.
Are you a Swiftie?
I am a Swiftie. Just things like that.
All right. I think that was good.
Moving on. Some good answers there. Question number 6. Do you find that your connection as twins ever affects the dynamics in your romantic relationships, such as the way you communicate, trust, or handle conflict with your partners?
It's hard. It's like I don't talk to anybody like I talk to you. I don't treat anybody like I treat you. It's just I think my relationship with you has taught me how to not treat or talk to other people, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm so comfortable and open with you, I feel like it's taught me how to set boundaries with other people. Like, I can't be as open
No, that's fair.
with them
That's fair.
as I am with you. Like,
There are certain times I'm talking to someone and I'm about to say something really stupid. I'm like, wait, I can't say this now. I'll say that. I'll save this for Ricky.
yeah, like just because we spend so much time together, I feel so comfortable like doing stuff that I would not do in front of other people as I do with
Yeah.
you. Like, I don't know, like, this is a stupid example, but like, if you're in the room, I won't even think about it. I'll just fart.
That is true. I could.
And
I was there.
obviously, I will not be doing that on a day-to-day basis with other people.
Yeah, I'll
Just the way I speak to you and talk to you and interact with you, like, I just obviously will not be doing that with other people. So
for sure. Like I'll make like really like questionable jokes around you, and then you do the same to me. Like
Yeah.
like jokes like if like other people heard, it would be like
yeah. Yeah, no, I feel you. But yeah, if you look at like an argument I'm having with Selena versus an argument I'm having with you about the same thing, those arguments look very, very different. Like with you, I'm probably punching your face, or
it's just way more sporadic, and you're much more rogue.
You just take that side of me. Like you just take it out of me. Yeah.
I push your buttons more than anyone in this world.
Yeah, but with
same.
yeah, exactly. And with her and with literally anybody else, that'd be obviously a lot more like civilized or.
No, same. Like,
But again, that's not like a twin thing. That's just like a normal
Yeah,
sibling
like-
thing.
when same like if I don't have a girlfriend, but if I did, like my argument with her would look much different than it would with you.
Yeah.
It would be much more rational with her. You would be much more just like guns a-blazing.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So when this question is asking how we communicate, trust, or handle conflict with our partners, I think it's taught me how to not do the things that I do with you.
We definitely argue unhealthily a lot of the times.
Like to a fault too. Like
Yeah.
we'll argue over the stupidest shit in front of people too.
Yeah.
They're like, guys, like calm down, like relax.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, moving on.
Moving on.
That was thought-provoking. My thinking critical skills are elevated.
Question number 7. Last question. Have there been challenges in balancing the closeness you share as twins with the intimacy required in romantic relationships? How do you manage those boundaries? So I don't think our relationships gets in the way of any intimacy I have with Selena or any past girlfriends that I had. I think my past girlfriends, and especially Selena, I'm just going to say, she has been really supportive of our relationship, if that's how you want to call it.
Yeah. She really has.
If anything, she like kind of like pushes me towards
into
you.
me, yeah.
It's like, because
It's very refreshing.
yeah, it's like we've talked about it before. Like we spend a lot of time together, so a lot of the times my knee-jerk reaction is just to be like, I don't want to really hang out with you or see you any given week. But Selena's like, why are you a dick? Like just hang out
with your brother. Yeah. I mean, you guys live together, so you and Selena also have a lot of FaceTime.
Like a big part, this is actually a pretty good example. So a few months ago, like right after your breakup, right after his breakup, we had a cruise, like a week-long cruise to celebrate our friend's 30th birthday.
And a chapter of my new life.
Yeah. And he was not invited initially. It was known that I didn't want you to go.
Yeah.
And Selena was like, why you, like, just invite him. Like, why do you not want him to go? And I would have no logical reason. I just didn't want you there. It was my friend group, something I wanted to do with my girlfriend and our friends. And I don't know, just didn't want you there. And again, that makes me sound like a dick, and I hear it coming out of my mouth, and I just that's just how
I get it.
That's just
I get it. Boundaries, but
yeah, that's just my reaction. Growing up with you is just seeing you a lot and going back to the first question, being distinct from you. That was just my knee-jerk reaction. But then you had your breakup, and I was kind of obligated at that point. Like, you kind of needed to be with people, and
I needed to be with people. I needed to get away. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I mean, this is gonna sound not sincere after saying what I just said, but like I do want to hang out with you. Like, it's not like I don't want to hang out with you. And like when we were on the cruise, like we did have fun. Like I didn't resent you being there. It's just, again, my knee-jerk reaction is always, I don't want you there.
Yeah, I know.
But again,
Also,
getting off track. Like,
I was also the life of the party.
oh my God.
Just saying.
Sure you were, buddy. Sure. But yeah, Selena is very supportive of our relationship. Oftentimes she does push me to hang out with Royce.
Yeah.
More than I would like.
Yeah, same. In my past relationship, she was very understanding and open to our relationship. It had very, very minimal impact on our relationship. Like if I wanted to hang out with you, it was never like she encouraged it just as well. She was amazing. But in my relationship before that, she was a nightmare. It was like probably the worst you could go. Like she was constantly putting up walls between me and you. She always made me feel guilty anytime I wanted to hang out with you or any one of my friends or my family.
She was just very possessive.
She was very possessive and didn't understand the closeness and bond that we shared. Like I remember we wanted to play in a pickleball tournament together, and she was resentful of that because
I'll never forget. She straight up said, "But pickleball was our thing. Like you can't possess a person and a sport.
Yeah,
like, it's not a thing."
Yeah, I mean, it was a hobby that we picked up together, me and her. But doesn't mean I can't play it with other people. But yeah, I remember that was really embarrassing. Anytime like we hung out, like she would make my life a living hell around you, and it always made everything very awkward and tense.
Yeah. If I ever wanted to tag along for something just as simple as like going to the grocery store, or maybe just joining you guys for dinner. Yeah. It was always a fight.
It was always a battle. And she was never a pleasure to be around. She would always like resent you being there. I remember we went to the mall one time. Like I remember you were very single like two years ago, and I was in.
Why did you say very? Just say single. Goddamn.
You were chronically single. You were single for
chronically single.
You were single for a very long time up until you met Selena.
Because singleness is a chronic disease. Well, I guess you have it now.
Well, that's me now. Yeah, I've caught it. But
whatever. Continue.
I knew you didn't have anything going on. I was going to the mall with my girlfriend at the time, and I wanted you to come along. I didn't want you to be alone. I felt like we could have fun together, all just going shopping. Yeah. She reluctantly agreed, and you came along. And I remember she wanted to go to Bed Bath & Beyond, and you wanted to, just wander around the mall. I wasn't too keen on going into Bed Bath & Beyond. I kind of just wanted to go wandering with you and see what we could find. And so I started walking with you, and she didn't. And
she probably viewed that as abandoning her. Right?
Yeah. She couldn't spend a few minutes alone in Bed Bath & Beyond by herself. I knew you could be alone, so I ended up just staying with her. In hindsight, that was a mistake. I should have just walked away with you and let her be alone.
Yeah.
To summarize, it depends on who the partner is.
Exactly.
Some people are very understanding and supportive, and some girls, not so much.
Yeah. You nailed it.
Yep. All right. Next question.
There are no more questions. That's it.
We did it?
We're done.
Wow. That was fun.
That was fun. That was stressful. I feel like I came out of that looking like a dickhole.
I feel like I felt like a therapy session with no therapist. Well, I guess with the camera.
It's okay. We were a little bit vulnerable, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. I was vulnerable with you. All right. So that was fun. If you hung around this long to listen to what we have to say, thank you. And a huge shout out to
Melissa. Thank you, Melissa.
Yes, the psychologist who came up with these questions. Those are very insightful, very informative, and I think...
And they made me want to kill myself. No.
I mean, what?
Yeah, what?
That made me feel a lot closer to you. Yeah, for sure. So, feel free to follow, like, subscribe to our channels. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. We are now on iHeartRadio. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're on a lot of platforms.
TikTok, obviously. Do all that, and we'll keep pumping out more content. Our next full episode will be within the next 2 weeks, although we do post clips on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube almost every day. So feel free to watch those, and we will see you on the next episode 5. That will be episode 5. Good for us, man. Half of 10, almost halfway to double digits.
Yeah.
Look at us go.
Wow.
2 twins in a dream.
Crazy.
Not really.
2 girls, 1 cup.
Oh my god.
I don't know why.
No.
I don't know why I just said that.
No. On that note.
Those two things aren't the same?
No. Well, on that note, all right, Twin Chatters, thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the next episode of Twin Chat.
On the flip flop.
On the flippity.
Do you want to share the snap?
Oh, we could, yeah.
What you should do is you snap, blackout, snap, blackout, I'll snap, blackout, snap, blackout. Now, like, do multiple blackouts, you know?
He thinks I have all the time in the world to edit when I really don't. I have a full-time job, bro.
Just
This
let's
ain't
see.
it.
No. So you do left, I do left, you do right, I do right. So, like, real quick, just do it. Just do it. Go.
I can't snap with my right
Oh,
hand.
practice.
That was a wet snap. That wasn't good either. No, that sounds so wet. No.
Yeah, why is that? There we go. It's a little better.
So what am I doing? Left?
Yeah. Why don't we, or we just both do left?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Good night, everyone. Ready? 1, 2, 3.